Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome to the start of the week. Today is the 2nd of December, and I think it's about time, right, that I talk about the Fide World Chess Championship right here, held here in Sentosa Island to the south of Singapore Island, of course, here in Singapore. So as I'm from Singapore, I think it's befitting of me to talk about this World Chess Championship, right? I mean, just held south. Currently, where am I staying on Singapore Island? I'm staying in the western region, right? So Singapore is located to the south of Malaysia. It's in Southeast Asia, right? It's not in China, of course, right? Some of you think that it's in China. No, it is not. And I mean, of course, there is some historical links with China because the Chinese community here in Singapore, we are the descendants of Chinese migrants from more than 100 years ago, right? Okay, so enough being said, I just want to show everybody the scoreline. I think a lot of you actually know about this. If you have been playing on chess.com, there is no reason, right, not to know. But maybe it's just the prize fund, right? Like 2.5 million, right, for both players. Of course, the winner will get a bit more, right? But this is really a lot of money, right? So winner will get more than a million, I think it's USD, right? So apart from game 1 and game 3, which had decisive results. So game 1 was won by Ding with the French defense, and game 3 was won by Gukesh. Okay, very, very well played positional game with the Queen's Gambit decline with White. I think he did the Karlsbad variation, but then he did this sub variation with G4 pawn push. And so yesterday's game was game 6. Yesterday was Sunday. That was the most well played, the most accurate game to date, I must say, right? So it featured a London system by our current World Chess Champion, by Ding. So this is a match between our reigning World Chess Champion Ding Liren and our challenger Gukesh Domaraju, or Domaraju Gukesh, right? Because he's from the south, right? He's from Tamil Nadu, if I'm not mistaken. So his name should appear after his parents' name, right? Like most of our Indian Singaporeans here. And then the latest news is so he gambles. I don't think really Gukesh gambled, but it's just to catch everybody's attention. And then we we look at this video recap by Levi Rossman, right? So I mean, enough being said, now I just want to show everybody something very, very interesting, right? You may have seen this before, right? This is from it's actually not easy to find from the this is like the Ding Shilling. Why are we calling Ding Shilling? All right, so I'm just going to maybe show a small snapshot of it.
What is the thing that you've seen? You said
it just says Ding Chilling, which is like comes from a meme from a Chinese ice cream promotion, and it's like adjusted to Ding Liren now, and it just shows that he's like chilling and just like playing good chess. So yeah.
Have you seen this?
What's the meaning of chill?
Well, to chill means to relax.
I relaxed after the first game, the end of the first game when I have a totally winning
But she's
position.
saying there's a meme out saying that you're chilling, meaning you're kind of just cool, relaxing, and also there's an ice cream connection. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. I certainly haven't.
I didn't have ice cream here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was really the cracker, everyone. Yeah, so Ding said I didn't have ice cream here, right? But that okay. So yeah, that was really hilarious. So that really got everybody smiling, right? Including Magnus as well. So if you look at GM Hikaru Nakamura's clip, I think he was very stone faced. He wasn't smiling, all right. But that is understandable because he is rooting for Gukesh, right? Okay. So enough being said, I just want to let everybody know. So how do you actually catch this? What's the best way to watch, to enjoy, right? I mean, not just through YouTube, okay? So I just want to show, okay, so everybody can look at, okay, so that's our Ding over there, right? Yeah, so Ding is chilling. So this is another one, right? Yeah, chess-based India, okay? So what I would recommend for most of you, okay, here, is that the channel that I actually recommend is the Chess 24 channel, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? So yeah, so here's one very good channel here. So this is a recap by, okay, let me just skip it, right? Yeah, so this is the recap done by our Magnus and Levi, right? Yeah, so I just want to show everybody a very small snapshot.
Where there was the option of doing move repetition and going into quite an early draw. And Gukesh makes the decision.
Yeah, so this is a channel that you guys can watch. So, I mean, the lady talking in the back, that was Katya, right? So that's the Norwegian chess journalist. She's a very good host, right? She has a very bright voice, yeah. So this is a very good channel to watch, Tick channel. I really recommend it. All right, so this is a very good channel to watch after, okay, after the game. I mean, during the game it was held by GM Yan Hammer. I mean, that footage wasn't fantastic, okay. But what is really fantastic is this one, right? So Chess 24, okay, Chess 24 live, right? Yeah, I think the best commentary was done by Chess 24, right? Because Chess 24 features our GM Judith Poga, right? So our strongest women grandmaster to date, right? Stronger than GM Ho Fan, of course, yeah. And she's very sharp. She's extremely clear when it comes to giving you the best possible variations. So I strongly recommend everybody to look at Chess 24 for live commentary, right? The other channel to refer to is the Fide official channel, right? But that one was done by David Howell and another lady. To me, I do find that not as good as Chess 24, right? Because they're just coming up with very weak variations or very weak moves, most of which will not happen compared to what Judith has to offer, right? And then the other person was GM Robert Hess, right? So I mean, both of them came up with very good moves, and most of the predictions came true. So it's much more revealing, all right? Okay, so enough being said, now I just want to talk a little bit about the games, all right? So my conception, my personal thoughts about the game. So maybe not the first 3 games, but I think okay, let's just look at game number 6, our London, right? Let's look at London, right? Which just happened yesterday, right? So everything is kind of archived on leechess.org. So this is fantastic. I mean, you guys saw me playing on leechess.org, right? And leechess.org also give you the most convenient way to use the AI engine, our stockfish, the latest stockfish, and I think it's pretty good good for most people, right? Yeah. So so. All right, so let's look at what happened at the very end. So it's a 3-4 repetition. Okay, let me just go up. Sorry about that, right? So it's a 3-4 repetition. So yeah, so what happened is that black with king g7, black is trying to come up to g6 to attack the rook on f5 and hopefully protect the pawn on h4 as well. So in this situation, okay, let's say if white didn't do the check, right, the rook g2 check, okay, so what can actually happen? So king h6 is one move, but I think king g6 is also possible here, right? And then let's just do this, for instance, right? So I mean, the computer is giving it as 0.0, but here, of course, I mean, black is really pretty active. So, and then let's say if white goes for maybe b4, right? And then yeah, let's just take on this this f4 pawn, right? I mean, of course, I mean, such things will not seriously happen, right? So the right move to do, I mean, is of course to protect the f4 pawn. But then again, there's multiple ways for black to play. Like say, moving the king forward, right? I mean, I'm not playing the computer's top choice, but all these moves actually work pretty well. And rook c7 actually just blocks the c pawn from coming forward. So, I mean, of course, as white, you don't really want to give black so many options. So Ding rightfully he made the check, all right. So you cannot move your king to h6, right? Because this is a mate in 2. Look at this, just a mate in 2. This is terrible, right? So rightfully, Gukesh went back to h8. Ding moved his rook back to e2. And Gukesh repeated the position, right? Yeah. So and then of course rightfully so. This is a draw. So now let me just show everybody a key position here. All right, yeah. So that's after the queen exchange. Everybody can see this. So this h4 is pretty much forced. If not, black simply does g5, right? Like say, if I do c4, there's this g5. I mean, note that what can happen like this, all right? If you play sloppily, all right, f takes g5. Look at this. You have rolling pawns. Black has rolling pawns, supported by both rooks. I mean, what can you do as white? One of them is definitely going to promote. So this is terrible chess, right? So yeah, of course, h4 is the very principled move. And here is that the best move is king g7. Right? Why is king g7 such a good move? Okay, I'm going to show everybody. If white goes like rook d7, very understandable. Here in this situation, you don't go rook f7. You move the king to h6. Right? You do something like that. And what happens if I take, white takes on a7? What happens? You push e3 first, and then, launch the rook forward, right? These are all like computer moves. Now it's just... You're just going to be up a pawn, right? You're just going to be like having three passers. I would say like two immediate passers along the f and g file, right? And this is really dangerous stuff. Right? If you do something like that, all right, let's say we give a check first as the computer's top choice, and then you do that. Okay, let's say take the pawn on h7, right? So this is actually a blunder, and now black can simply push the pawn, push the f pawn, right? It's a race, and of course in this situation black gets there first, right? Yeah, so as our former world chess champion and chess goat Magnus Carlsen pointed out in Take, right? So king, let me just go back, right? In this connect 4 position, king g7 was definitely worth it, right? Definitely the most active move, right? Because it gives a lot of avenues for white to go wrong. So with that being said, okay, let me just show everybody. So let's say after rook d7, right? King h6. This is the right move to make, right? This the right computer-esque, rook, and not rook takes a7, right? Yeah. So in this situation, let's say if I move the king upwards, right? Yeah, and then this is checkmate, of course. This is checkmate, right? So rook g2 just immediately prevents the king from coming to h5, right? So that's a clever approach. I mean, yeah. So let's just go back for now, okay? c5. Okay, let's say okay, the pawn was taken, right? And now, yeah, this e3, right? Yeah. So that goes back to the variation I showed everybody just now, right? So in that being said, I just want to highlight another game. So yeah, so that was just some possibilities for black to push and for white to go wrong. So that was a missed opportunity by Gukesh, right? I would say, right? King g7 was a missed opportunity. But with that being said, let's just head back. So the other game I want to show everybody is game number 5, if I'm not mistaken. That's the second. French defense. Yeah, you guys got to Google it, right? It's very hard to spot the link. Very hard to find the page because usually all these pages came alive during the live session, right? Because now everything's over. So I just want to highlight a position. Yeah, right. So the engine is on, right? Yeah, so after king f2, the best move actually is, as most commentators pointed out, right? Hikaru pointed out, Magnus pointed out, so many people pointed out, is bishop h5, not bishop c6, which I think that's an inaccuracy. That's just not. But it's also a move that lead to a direct draw, right? Which happened, right, a few moves later. So in this situation, if white takes, right? Yeah. So this is just the point is just going to queen. All right, the point is just going to queen. Yeah. And then, yeah, this is just terrible, right? You're not going to do something like that, right? So king e3 is literally the only meaningful, the most logical move to play. And here basically you buttress c4, and here b3 is actually worth an exclamation mark, right? So attacking c4, and then rook c8, and then rook h4, right? Rook h4 is an exclamation mark, right? It's a very good move. Rook h4 is much better than rook d7. Why? Because okay, there's a possibility for black to go wrong with bishop g6, and then here, right? There's a check, right? Yeah. A rook skewer, right? And then you take the rook on c8. Yeah. So there's only one move, and that is g6, and then you go back, and then you wait for something to happen. You want to see what black can do. Let's say black, instead of pushing g5, black takes on b3, right? Of course you take, right? You don't take d3, otherwise bishop takes a2. And then, yeah, the position is pretty much level. And so what happens if I take on c3? I take on c3. I mean, in a blitz situation, we would take on d3. And this is still a balanced position. Right, yeah, because you have the king is very close to the b3 pawn, right? So there's no way for either the a5 or the b5 pawn to eventually become a queen without the king supporting them, right? So this is actually a totally balanced position, right? And then this should lead to a draw, right? In a blitz situation, I don't think anybody would play this, right? Yeah, this is not what a human would do, right? Let's say like this, and then yeah, this is again, b4 is very inhuman, right? But b4 is a very good move because that stops a5 straight away, and then you take on d3, right? There's just no way. Okay, let's say black defends d3, right? You don't take on d3, right? But then you do rook d7. Yeah, rook d7 in this situation is a very good move. Yeah. and then there's a possibility of checking the king, yada yada, right? Yeah. And then yeah, so this is still a drawish position, but note that it will take so much more effort on White's part, right? White really has to play very very carefully, right? And so what happens if just now C takes B3 did not happen? C takes D3 is just really anti-positional. Okay, let's say, all right, let's say what happens instead of G5. Okay, there's this A6, right? Okay, so basically bishop H4, so these are all the computer moves, right? Yeah. So attacking this E5 and then so this is still a balanced position, right? I like it or not, this is still a balanced position, yeah. So that's and then the king can move out, right? Anyway, right? So this is just you got to move your rooks. So this is just threatening checkmate, right? Yeah. So you can give a check here, okay? Give a check here. Give a check here. Just carry on checking. And I think this can be seen as a draw by repetition. But in this position, this is much more complicated, right? Compared to the fortress that Ding set up like this. Ding was black in this situation, right? This is just not interesting at all, right? Yeah. So black is down upon, but there's just no way for white to gain grounds. The bishop can simply just go back and forth on a long white diagonal from C8 all the way to H1. There's just nothing, there's just no play at all, right? Say like this. Like this is black is actually slightly better, yeah. So like this, for instance, yeah. It's just you don't really have to be ultra smart, to do anything, right? So this is a dead draw. So again, this is I was just highlighting the bishop H5. It's just a much more pressing, all right, approach, all right, a more tenacious approach. But Ding didn't go for it. But considering that it's pretty much late into the night, right? Maybe that was a wise strategy, right? So the longest game so far was game number 6, right? The game I showed everybody, right? Which ended with a 3-4 repetition, right? Yeah, show everybody. Yeah, so this is a 3-4 repetition. Yeah, so this was the longest game, right? So this was the final position from yesterday's last night, right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think this game was a very very well played game, right? I wouldn't say the opening was particularly interesting, but I think the middle game, the late middle game, and the end game especially, right? Just now the variation I showed you, right? After the connect 4, right? The connect 4 possibility, yeah. That was very very interesting, yeah. Okay, let me just go back to it, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, this possibility like rook takes A7, what can go wrong? E3 exclamation mark, E3 followed by rook E4, yeah. All these moves, right? And now, of course, you cannot move this rook away, right? Yeah. No, I was mentioning this rook. Let's say rook G2, right? Rook G2 is just a horrible move. Yeah. So rook D7, and then yeah. So this is the thing I'm just hoping for. That check was just very 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 important, right? Because with that check, with rook this rook H2, right? Black gains the tempo, right? King G8, G5, and then. In this situation, black should win, right? Black should win. Black is so much faster. Yeah. So this is just to show everybody, what can happen. You got to be brave. King G7, activate your king. You got to know how to do the king march, how to get your king into the thick of the action. Yeah. So with that being said, I hope everybody can follow my advice. Okay, follow the right chess channels, right? If you're watching it live. Follow the Chess24 channel, right? And then if you don't really have the time, it's fine. After the game, right, watch Take, right? And then the review by Magnus and Levy is really, really top notch, right? So I highly recommend these 2 channels, right? You can watch Hikaru's channel as well, to familiarize yourself with the tactical motifs, right? The missed tactical opportunities, right? But other than that, I think Chess24 and Take, these are the 2 top channels, right? And of course, if you don't really want to watch video, just go to Lichess, right? Go to Lichess, the main page, scroll down, and look for the one, the symbol, right? The symbol of the radio and the radio waves, right? That will lead you directly to a chessboard, right? Yeah, and then you can just watch it live, right? To save data, to save Wi-Fi, yeah. So with that being said, I hope that everybody enjoyed my analysis, and we'll continue watching the game from tomorrow, right? Which is the 3rd of December onwards. Right, I will give another recap of this game, right, as when there's somebody who is pulling ahead, right? I'm not so sure whether Ding or Gukesh, but I kind of predict maybe Gukesh will pull ahead, right? Because after all, he is a player with the higher rating, right? So before then, I hope everybody will stay happy, stay healthy, and I will see everybody in the next recording.